We are going to have them do a presentation along with our director of the sewer department. Basically an update, progress update on the sewer, phase 2 of the sewer plant.
Right, thank you, Supervisor. So if you remember, back in August of 2021, we had Dennis come in and do EPC energy performance contracting 101 for us. We moved forward with that at the beginning of March. We signed a development contract with Nautilus, and we've been hard at work for 8 weeks, and figured it was a good time to give the board an update as to what we've been working on. Next up, please.
Thanks for letting us drop in tonight and say hello. As Art had said, we've been working for about 8 weeks, and we wanted to really just give you a bit of a progress update on where we are related to the project. We'll go to the next slide. So this is a chart which is basically the development process that we're moving ourselves through now. And we're basically halfway through phase 1. And in essence, what we're doing in phase 1 is going from all of the concepts of improvement at the treatment plant to what is called the basis of design document, which in essence becomes the guiding document for what systems will be installed, what their capabilities will be. So that all has to get decided before we really move into the hard engineering design work, which will then take place in that second phase for us to be done by the end of the year. Thank you. Moving forward. So now quickly, just to give you a sense of the variety of tasks that have been underway. And we have, I think, 7 organizations on our team working on a wide variety of concurrent activities at the same time. So, not trying to go through these in any detail, but we've clearly collected all of the technical information that's available, had meetings with New York State DEC that has regulatory oversight of the improvements at the plant to ensure they understand what the project includes and are aware of the way it's being delivered. We worked with Mr. Adams to ensure that we had a good understanding of creating a baseline for the cost of running the sewer department for the next 20 years. That's important to establish as you're trying to have an understanding of the impacts of the project from a financial perspective. You sort of have to have the baseline to be able to do that. So working with the town, we've had that established. We've also just completed the assessment of understanding what outside waste and other biosolids from other treatment plants may be available to come to Webster here as additional sources of revenue that can come to the town. That survey's just been completed. Been continuing to have lots of face-to-face meetings with the people who may be providing that, and then numerous hours of presentations from potential equipment vendors have been held between the Navitas team and then town staff to make sure that they that there was a good understanding of the technologies that were available to be considered and the features and benefits of the different systems that could be installed. All of the site work has been done, and we are in the process right now of finishing the selection of our key trades installation partners. There's work now to try and understand what grants through the state are available. In fact, the application process in New York State for 2022 is just opened this week. So moving forward with that. And then design workshop for the improvements to the admin building. And then the last thing there, we talked about there's a wide variety of improvements being made at the plant, and one of the ways to figure out what those are is you have to sort of take the plant and break it into independent parts, and those are handled through technology memos. And if you go to the next slide, this here is a list of the different parts of the plant and the technology memos that are being written. And for the purpose of these memos is for the Navitas team to work with the town to look at the given situation and then think of the different technological solutions that are available to improve it, evaluate the pros and cons, and then provide that to the town to help them make the decisions on what is the right system to go forward with. So these are all underway. Some of them are completed, some of them are still being written, but they'll all be done soon. One piece of this, and this is just a little bit of an example, at this point in the process, we're looking at a wide variety of options. And this is one of the parts of the process here. Without getting into the details about what gravity thickeners do, one of the things we have to look at is where is an appropriate location to put them at the treatment plant. So this here is an example of, as we're working with the sewer department staff, looking at various different locations, how they would impact the treatment process at the plant, how they would also have an impact from a capital cost perspective for design and installation. The next thing I wanted to mention is that there is work underway to make an expansion to the administration building at the treatment plant. Art, you've been a little space constrained for a little while. So if you jump to the next slide here, this just very briefly is an overview of the expansion that is being looked at, and the idea is that adding some training space, some additional meeting space, expansion of the restroom facilities and locker rooms, and then providing some additional office space, and then just general upgrades of the building are all underway right now. So this is first design layout. If you go to the next slide quickly. So this here gives you a little bit of a comparison, so you can see where the expansion of the space is. It looks like it's heading to the north, but I'm not actually sure if that is. It is north. That worked out nicely. So this gives you a sense of where we are in this. So this is first layout. Ultimately, Art and his team with the town will be trying to understand if this is the right configuration, and then we move forward into the design. So lastly, you may remember from some of our presentations, we had shown you these graphs of the difference between the linear design bid build process and then the process under this process here. If you click real quick, this is just to give you an indication of where we are in the process. Still very early, but working through those processes of dealing with the technical, financial, and pulling the team together. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
Jenny?
Process, how long are you expecting it to be complete?
We're expecting the development process to be finished by year's end.
I don't have so much of a question as just a comment, and Patty probably could speak more to this because she's the liaison to the sewer department. I've had the pleasure and opportunity to be invited to some of these update meetings at Dennis when we've been in town, and that's a pretty impressive process. When you said earlier there's like 7 different companies that are kind of involved in this, which is part of what we do as an energy performance contractor. Coalesce them. It's an impressive process from what I've seen so far.
I have nothing to add to that at all. I have been sitting in on meetings, both with the updates today, which was really the more expanded version of what you just presented, as well as some of the vendor meetings. So yeah, it's really, I think, a robust process and one that's going to move us forward. And given the current conditions we're under and some of the ordering times of equipment and things like that, I think this process will allow us to move forward without too much delay, waiting for things like that.
Bill?
I'm good on anything right now. Seems to move along smoothly.
Well, as time goes on, if you continue to do these monthly kind of updates and whatever, and I appreciate you have invited me and invited Patty, as you probably know the way government works. You can have 3 of us there, because we have a quorum. I know what my background is, business-wise. I know what Patty's background is. I would gladly step out of one of those meetings and have Councilman Abbott jump in, because Bill, with your background, I think you might find this fascinating. So just food for thought. Bill's a 2-handicap golfer, so it might not be till September. But
And Jenny will get you in there too, don't get me wrong.
All right? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.